Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss how Neve Campbell has given her official rankings for the Scream franchise. She lets us know her personal order for every single Scream movie, including Scream 5. So get your rankings together, and let's find out how close or far away you might be from Neve's list. Let's go. So LaRon Chapman, who is an independent filmmaker, was at Texas Frightmare this weekend and asked Neve Campbell what her personal rankings were for the Scream films. She opened up and shared her personal rankings, and I'm excited to share those with you now. So, coming in at number 1 is, of course, Scream 1. Not a big surprise. I think the majority of individuals who are Scream fans, if we took a poll, would say Scream 1 is their most favorite. Now, I know a few individuals, not many, I know a few, who actually have other films or some of the sequels ranked above Scream 1, which I know is surprising. It always surprises me when I hear that, but I do know there are some people that have the original ranked at number 2, but that is definitely, from my experience and discussions, the minority of people. The vast majority always come in with Scream 1 as the first, which makes total sense. It is the masterpiece film by Wes Craven. It is the standard by which all other Scream films will be measured, fair or not. That's the way it's going to be. And it is on a shelf that is so high up, in my mind anyway, none of the other Scream films will be able to touch it. It is a masterpiece. It's a near perfect movie, as close to flawless as I think you're ever going to find, both in all areas: cinematography, direction, pace, performance, all of the factors, score, everything. If you package it all up, that is a darn near perfect movie in Scream 96. So anyway, it's not a surprise. It is definitely what is the consensus number 1 overall choice for all the Scream fans that I speak to. No, overall. Now, coming in as Neve's number 2 choice for her rankings of the Scream films is Scream 2. Yes, she actually ranks Scream 2 as her number 2 choice. So she ranks the first 2 movies together, 1 and 2. And Scream 2 is, without a doubt, in my mind, a very strong sequel. And in terms of how sequels are in the history of horror movies, if you look at the second sequels, or the first sequel, I should say, actually the number 2, the second films, I'm trying to say, in most horror franchises, if you were to rank them up and put them back to Scream 2, I believe the quality of Scream 2, generally speaking, far surpasses any sequel that we have in horror history. All right, Halloween 2, you can make a case is pretty darn good. I enjoy Halloween 2, so that's definitely something that it could be considered. But overall, you rarely are going to find a sequel that is done with such consistency. Quality carries right over from Scream 1 into Scream 2. And performance, again, the same things: performance, pace, cinematography, direction, all of those things in Scream 2 are there. So I felt when I watched Scream 2, while of course nothing is the original, let's be sure about that, but there's not a significant drop off from 1 to 2 in all those areas I just outlined. I think it's very strong, and I would put it up against any sequel, again, in the history of horror movies. All right, Neve's third choice, coming in at number 3. Now, this one might surprise some people. Others, it may not. Her number 3 ranking is Scream 5. Yes, Scream 5 makes Neve's 3rd ranking for Scream. Well, this one actually did surprise me. I felt like I was surprised that it was ranked that high at third place. And I don't know, I guess a lot of factors about that made me not expect to see it this high. Part of it is because Wes Craven's no longer with us, and all of the other 4 films, she always talks about in every interview how much it meant to her to work with Wes and to have his direction, and how meaningful those first 4 films were because of Wes and what he did on set and with the films. So I did not expect 5 to rank this high because Wes was not involved with this. Now, granted, Kevin Williamson was, and Dewey, of course, David and Courtney were, of course, involved still. But no Wes, and her screen time was less as well. It was probably more in line of what we saw, in Scream 3, where she was only available to shoot like 20 days, I think it was. And I think that's what it was here as well, if I'm not mistaken, right around there. So anyway, yeah, I was surprised, and I said, tells me that her experience with this movie, and again, when you're talking about personal rankings like this, we don't know all of the subjective side of what went into it, like what elements that make each of these movies, why they are ranked where they are. We don't know that part. We can only speculate. But I do have to say that having Scream 5 listed as her 3rd choice, I think she must have really enjoyed her time working with Radio Silence and with the other cast members. I think that must have been a really great time for her to rank it this high, because it's just surprising to me. But I know a lot of folks who do have it ranked around their 3rd favorite, and so it's not like uncommon. But being as she is Neve and Sydney, I would have thought it might have been just a little bit lower, but it's not. So that's her number 3 choice, Scream 5. Now, coming at number 4, Neve Campbell's number 4th choice is Scream 3. Yes, Scream 3. She ranks in behind Scream 5 as her 4th choice. And again, you guys know here on the channel, if you've been here for any significant time, you know how much I love the 3rd film. If you're new to the channel, I am a big fan of Scream 3. I think it is beat up on and bullied up on a lot more than it deserves. I think it's very underrated. I think that while of course it's not perfect, I give you that, but there's so many elements to Scream 3 that are really fun. It's so rewatchable. It's so entertaining. You can just sit down, fire it up, have a good time with it, and go down this mad caper with secret passageways and secret doors and just all this fun stuff. It's a great movie. And there's also a whole nother side to Scream 3 that in terms of how Wes Craven not only co-wrote this with Aaron Kruger, but how he shot this movie. It's brilliant. And I have more to say about that, but I won't do it for this video. But it's a brilliant movie, very underrated. So that's Neve Campbell's 4th choice, Scream 3. And finally, to close it out, coming in at number 5, of course, the one that we know that's left over now, is Scream 4. And I was a little surprised to see Scream 4 as last on her list. I think the 2 biggest surprises for me were hands down are Scream 5 at number 3 and Scream 4 at number 5. Those were the 2 that I was not expecting to see. And again, we don't know the reasons that go into this. We just don't. We'd have no way to really know what those reasons are, what her thinking is on why it ranked last. Of course, keep in mind, something has to be last. There's 5 movies. One of them is just going to be in last place. So that's the way it's going to be. Doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that's where she ranked it. And something has to end up at the end. So I'd love some time to find out maybe one day what exactly went into her rankings, and the why behind each of these rankings would be fascinating. And if I ever get the opportunity to ask her, that's one of the things I'm going to ask her about. Just curious on what that is, because I'd like to know what her thinking is, because there's reasons for this, obviously. We all have reasons for why we rank movies certain ways, so I would love to hear that. But that is Neve Campbell's rankings, guys, for these Scream films. Thought it'd be fun to make a quick video, send this out, and let you guys be aware of it if you were not already. So, all right, everyone. Now, I want to know what you think about Nev's personal rankings of the Scream films. I want to hear what your rankings are. So, start leaving your comments below right now. Leave your rankings in the comments. Let's talk about them. And I would just love to see what you guys think about it. So, that's going to be it for this update, but I'll be back soon with more Scream and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thank you for watching.